Join us as we uncover 24 forgotten Christmas traditions that will make you wonder how we ever celebrated without them. Picture this. It's 1962, and you've just stepped into your neighbor's living room. Your eyes widen as you spot something that looks like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie. It's not a spaceship, but it's close. It's an aluminum Christmas tree. These shiny, silvery trees were all the rage in the early 1960s. They perfectly captured the era's love affair with all things modern and futuristic. No more dealing with fallen needles or watering schedules. These trees were the epitome of space-age convenience. Just unfold, assemble, and voila, instant Christmas spirit with a dash of rocket-age cool. At the height of their popularity in 1965, over 500,000 aluminum trees found their way into American homes. Companies like the Aluminum Specialty Company and Silver Pine Company couldn't make them fast enough. People were ditching their traditional evergreens faster than you could say, "Beam me up, Santa." But what made these metallic marvels so appealing? Well, for starters, they were incredibly low maintenance. No more wrestling with tangled lights. These babies were best left unadorned to show off their silvery splendor. Instead, families would decorate them with colorful glass ornaments that created a dazzling, reflective display. It was like having your own personal disco ball, Christmas edition. The aluminum tree craze wasn't just about convenience, though. It reflected America's fascination with technology and the space race. Having one of these trees in your living room was like bringing a piece of the future home for the holidays. But as quickly as they rose to fame, aluminum trees soon fell out of favor. What could have caused such a sudden shift? The answer might surprise you. It was none other than everyone's favorite round-headed kid, Charlie Brown. In 1965, A Charlie Brown Christmas hit TV screens across America. The special's heartwarming message about the true meaning of Christmas, symbolized by Charlie's sad little natural tree, struck a chord with viewers. Suddenly, those shiny aluminum trees didn't seem so cheerful anymore. People started longing for the authenticity of real evergreens, and the aluminum tree trend began to fade. But don't feel too bad for these forgotten icons. They've found new life among collectors and retro enthusiasts. Some vintage models even fetch high prices in antique shops and online marketplaces. What if I told you that the most captivating part of those futuristic aluminum trees wasn't the tree at all? In fact, this mesmerizing accessory was so popular, it influenced holiday lighting trends for decades to come. But why did this beloved tradition suddenly vanish from our Christmas celebrations? Enter the color wheel, the unsung hero of the space-age Christmas. These rotating discs of vibrant hues were the perfect companion to those shimmering aluminum trees. Imagine stepping into your living room on a chilly December evening only to be greeted by a kaleidoscope of colors dancing across your walls and ceiling. It was like having your very own aurora borealis right in your home. The technology behind these magical devices was surprisingly simple. A motorized disc with different colored segments would rotate in front of a light source, projecting a constantly changing rainbow onto the reflective surfaces of the aluminum tree. The most popular brand was aptly named Color Wheel by the Aluminum Specialty Company, and it quickly became a must-have holiday accessory. But the color wheel wasn't just about making your tree look pretty. It transformed your entire living room into a Technicolor wonderland. Kids would sit for hours, mesmerized by the hypnotic play of red, blue, green, and yellow light. It was like having a light show and a Christmas tree all in one. However, as with many things from the 60s, color wheels came with their own set of challenges. Some folks reported safety concerns, particularly related to overheating. There was always the risk of fire if these spinning wonders were left unattended for too long. It seems even Christmas magic needed a watchful eye. Despite these concerns, color wheels set a precedent for holiday lighting that we still see today. Those elaborate twinkling light displays that adorn houses and trees, they're the great-grandchildren of the humble color wheel. Sadly, as aluminum trees fell out of favor, so did their colorful companions. But the magic of color wheels lives on in the memories of those who experienced their enchanting glow during family celebrations. And here's a fun fact. Modern LED versions have emerged, offering a safer, more energy-efficient way to recreate that nostalgic charm. Picture this: a cozy living room filled with laughter, the scent of freshly popped corn wafting through the air, and a family huddled around a bowl of fluffy white kernels. This wasn't movie night. It was time to create one of the most beloved Christmas decorations of yesteryear, the popcorn garland. Remember the satisfying crunch as you carefully threaded your needle through each perfectly popped kernel? It was a simple craft that brought families together during the holiday season. All you needed was some popcorn, a needle, and thread. But don't let that simplicity fool you. Creating these edible decorations was no quick task. Stringing popcorn required patience and a steady hand. Kids and adults would sit for hours, carefully selecting each piece and gently pushing the needle through. Some families would create patterns, alternating popcorn with cranberries or other dried fruits for a pop of festive color. Others would go for a classic all-white look, perfect for mimicking snow-covered branches. The origins of this tradition are a bit fuzzy, but it likely started as a way to use readily available materials to decorate the tree. In a time before mass-produced ornaments, popcorn garlands added a personal touch to holiday decor. Plus, they were biodegradable. You could feed the birds with them after the holidays. But why did this hands-on craft lose its appeal? As with many old traditions, convenience played a big role. As store-bought decorations became more affordable and varied, spending hours stringing popcorn seemed less appealing. There were also practical concerns. The garlands could attract pests if left up too long, and some worried about food safety. Modern families often opt for paper or plastic versions that mimic the look of popcorn garlands without the hassle. While these alternatives are certainly easier, they lack the charm and personal touch of the real thing. The decline of popcorn garlands marks a shift away from homemade decorations to more commercialized holiday preparations. What if we told you a humble vegetable once held a place of honor on Christmas trees? It's true. Meet the Christmas pickle, a quirky tradition that's more American than you might think. Here's how it worked. On Christmas Eve, parents would secretly hide a pickle-shaped ornament deep within the branches of the family Christmas tree. The next morning, the first child to spot the pickle would receive an extra present or get to open the first gift. Some families even awarded the pickle finder good fortune for the coming year. But where did this odd custom come from? Well, that's where things get a bit pickled. One popular tale claims it all started with a Civil War soldier. The story goes that a Union prisoner begged a guard for one last pickle before he died. Miraculously, that pickle gave him the strength to survive. When he returned home, he started hanging pickles on his Christmas tree in remembrance. Another legend points to good old Saint Nick himself. Supposedly, he rescued two boys trapped in a pickle barrel. Don't ask how they got there. This pickle-saving feat somehow morphed into the tradition we know today. And then there's the German connection. Many people believe the Christmas pickle, or Weihnachtsgurke, is an old German custom. There's just one problem with that theory. Most Germans have never heard of it. A survey found that a whopping 91% of Germans knew nothing about this so-called tradition. So, what's really going on here? Brace yourself for a twist. It turns out the Christmas pickle is most likely an American marketing invention. In the late 1800s, Woolworth stores began importing glass ornaments from Germany, including some shaped like pickles. To boost sales, clever marketers might have cooked up the old world tradition to go with them. Despite its questionable origins, the Christmas pickle has found a special place in many American homes. These days, you can find pickle ornaments in all sorts of stores, often packaged with a card explaining the legend. It's become a fun, quirky addition to holiday celebrations, even if most people are in on the joke. Imagine sipping on a steaming mug of soda. In the swinging 60s, one unconventional beverage had Americans reaching for their saucepans instead of their coolers. What fizzy favorite took an unexpected turn to become a warm winter treat? Back in the 1960s, Dr. Pepper decided to shake things up with a marketing campaign that would make today's soda drinkers do a double take. They suggested heating their iconic soda to a toasty 180-degree RF and serving it with a slice of lemon. You heard that right. Hot Dr. Pepper was suddenly the coolest thing in town. Now, you might be thinking, hot soda? That sounds interesting. And you're not alone. When people first heard about this trend, many were skeptical, but those who gave it a try often found themselves pleasantly surprised. The warm Dr. Pepper offered a unique spiced flavor that some compared to a mix of mulled cider and hot tea. It was like Christmas in a mug, but with a twist. This odd beverage quickly became a hit at holiday parties. Some people even claimed it could soothe a sore throat, making it the perfect drink for those chilly winter nights. It was a non-alcoholic alternative to traditional holiday drinks, appealing to folks who wanted something festive without the spirits. But why did Dr. Pepper decide to heat things up? Well, the 1960s were a time of change, and that included our taste buds. People were getting more adventurous with their food and drinks, always on the lookout for the next big thing. Hot Dr. Pepper was part of a broader shift in consumer habits, where brands were trying to innovate and adapt their products to fit seasonal themes. For a while, it seemed like Hot Dr. Pepper might become a permanent fixture of the holiday season. But as the years went by, enthusiasm for the heated soda started to cool off. Newer holiday beverage trends emerged, and younger generations weren't as keen on the idea of warming up their soft drinks. Today, Hot Dr. Pepper is mostly a memory, a quirky footnote in the history of holiday traditions. But it serves as a reminder of a time when we were willing to try something completely different, even if it meant heating up our favorite cold drinks. Who knows? Maybe it's time to dust off that saucepan and give this lost tradition another shot. After all, the holidays are all about bringing back the warm memories of the past.